Hey, what's going on? This is your boy KLA The Wanderer about to give it to you once again. I have a special guest. Her name is Jess Falborn.
Mhm.
She's a women's physique pro, and
Mhm.
she's here to tell her story. Yeah, like how you been?
I've been great. I feel good. Yeah. Plus, like, I'm not too far from you, and like the weather here today is like absolutely gorgeous. So things are good.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. You enjoyed the this afternoon? I don't know how it is where you at, but in the
I'm right.
city.
I'm in New Jersey. I'm not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you was like upstate New York or something like that.
Nope. New Jersey, North
Oh,
Jersey.
okay. All
I'm like
right. Yeah. So
25
I
minutes
guess
from
you.
the city.
Yeah. I guess you enjoying the weather
Yeah,
like
it's
me.
really nice today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just went outside a bit and got some things and stuff. But I just enjoyed it a little bit. I couldn't enjoy it too much because I had to talk with you and I didn't want to miss this. So yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I came across you I seen you in FBB forum, but
Okay.
I seen you you was a commentator for the MPC
Hmm.
and I was like, wow, who's this? Yeah, and I got like some pictures of you interviewing people and stuff like that.
Oh, for NBC News Online. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right. Franklin
yeah.
and Carlos.
Do
Yeah.
you you still do that now?
As needed. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so that was at the Texas Pro in August.
Right.
And I was down there because my coach was competing. He was doing his pro debut. So I went to go see him compete. And a friend of mine was doing all of the interviews for NBC News Online. And he was like, hey, like, can you help us out? We need someone to interview athletes. And it's always great to have someone who's a current competitor who also is articulate and not afraid to be on camera. So
Right.
I was happy to do it. And I actually really like doing the interviews and doing the commentating. And I've done that for a few shows. So it was a great opportunity. And, as they pop up, I'm happy to step in and help out.
Oh, you still want to do it? You
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
podcast or something like that, or
No.
oh, okay, okay. You seem like you can have potential doing that because there's other bodybuilders that have. You probably know, but there's other women bodybuilders. They do
Yeah.
podcasts
Yeah.
like Isabel Terrell, Sabedra, I think what's her name, Shannon Sealy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah. I mean,
watch
it's,
them?
it's a saturated market. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do something that someone's already doing. Like I want to be unique with what I do and add value. And so, um, I mean, my job keeps me incredibly busy, coaching, like competing, everything, adds up. So, I mean, if I had the free time and there was a platform and people wanted to hear what I had to say, I'd consider it. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, we already got guests. Bodybuilding fan, Cutie, and Davarish Adams. Hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
guys.
So so I guess I gotta go to the generic, the common way of giving you the introduction because you're in my platform. But so how you got started in bodybuilding?
So I have always been an athlete. I grew up playing sports, and I'm from the New York area. So after college, I moved down to Washington D.C. and I worked in sales and in lobbying for 10 years. So I lived in DC for a total of 12 years. So I was in a completely different career field. And fitness wasn't a huge part of my life, just with like how busy work was and my life was. And then I kind of found my way back to it. I got into Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Krav Maga and mixed martial arts. And then I got into CrossFit. And CrossFit and powerlifting is where I really like found a home. And I actually ended up leaving my full-time job and going full-time into fitness back in 2018. And I got my certification to coach CrossFit. I was coaching F45, CrossFit, powerlifting. I started my own business. And I competed in my first bodybuilding show, and I wasn't planning to do a bodybuilding show. I was planning to do more of the like performance athletics, like CrossFit and powerlifting. I really love like lifting heavy and chasing numbers and being super competitive. But my coach at the time, my nutrition coach, said, Jess, you have the genetics. You should try a bodybuilding show. And I was like, bodybuilding is so stupid. Who would starve themselves? Like, I love food way too much. I'm half Italian. I grew up with food. Like, why would I do that? And he was like, just try it. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized, like, if I could do this, I could teach my clients a little bit more about discipline and how to stay motivated and what it takes to actually change their physique. And even regardless of whether or not they wanted to compete, like I wanted to be able to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. So I decided to do my first show. I did my first show in August of 2019 and won. And I was in figure at that point. So I won. And didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, of course, like in my head, I was like, of course I won. Like, I don't come to do anything less than win, but I didn't think I would continue. And then I decided over the next few months, I was like, all right, you know what? Now I'm nationally qualified. I'm going to do a national show. And then COVID hit in 2020. And so I had already started preparing for another show, and shows kept getting pushed, and I still ended up competing in 2020, and I did my first national show, and I did women's physique. So that I took second place at Junior USA's in 2020 at my first ever national show, first women's physique show. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is what I'm hungry for. I'm going to continue to do this. Took another year off, went in 2021 back to Junior USA's, took second again, and I was so pissed off because I felt like I had made the improvements. I had a different coach. Like, I felt like I had earned that pro card, but took me one more try. So then fast forward 2022, I did North Americans and earned my pro card in 2022. So it was never something I had like planned to pursue, but once I got that first taste of being on stage, I was like, this is it. Like, this is my home, at least for the next, for the foreseeable future, as long as I can do it. So I got started in bodybuilding later than most. I did my first show at, I think I was about to turn 31. So it was a little bit later than most. A lot of people get started in their like 20s, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. So it's been a really fun ride.
I mean, that's still young, 31. I mean, that ain't too bad.
No, but it's, I mean, when you're competing against
Well, I
girls,
know they,
one,
yeah, they in 20s. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
yeah,
But there's women that, they also start in their 40s and they look
very true,
incredible,
very true.
like. But it didn't take you long to get your pro card. You got it in 2019.
I got my pro card in
So,
2022.
oh, okay. I read it somewhere that you got it 2019. I
No,
could have
my
sworn.
first show was 2019.
Oh, okay, your first show. Okay,
Yeah.
I
So
probably
I did
got
my
that
first
mixed up.
local show in 2019. I did a national show 2020, 2021, and then my third national show was 2022, and that's when I earned my pro card. So it took me 4 shows to earn my pro card.
How was that process of like just kind of adjusting yourself to bodybuilding?
I'm an incredibly disciplined and routined individual. Like, all through my 20s, I already meal prepped. Like, I planned out meals. Like, I ate really healthy. I mean, there were times where, like, I overindulged. Like, when I wasn't a bodybuilder, I was a lobbyist, and I lobbied on behalf of the restaurant industry. So, like, we would go out to eat and we would drink, and I partied a lot in my 20s, but I always had like routine and structure and discipline. So, I just I fine tuned that. I spent a lot of time over the last few years fine tuning the habits that you need to be so incredibly disciplined and motivated for the sport. And it not that it wasn't a tough transition, because there's a lot of difficult parts of bodybuilding, but It just kind of feels like it's something that is right for me because I crave routine and I crave structure, and I'm very disciplined in all aspects of my life. So it kind of just comes that part comes naturally to me.
Okay. Well, you got a question. This is a person I got mixed feelings about, but he's okay and he wants to. Uh, which do you love more, bodybuilding or CrossFit?
For me personally, bodybuilding, 1,000%. But I coach CrossFit. I have a lot of CrossFit athletes that I coach. I'm like a bodybuilding coach, a nutrition coach, lifestyle, and I coach CrossFit classes, and I love it. And the reason I love CrossFit is because it is a great catalyst to get people into fitness. I think it gets a bad rap. I think a lot of people think of CrossFit and they think of the CrossFit Games and elite athletes, but that's not
Hmm.
what CrossFit is. The same way bodybuilding, right? People think about Olympians and top level bodybuilders, but that's the top half a percent, you know? So there's so many people that are in each of these sports that are not at that elite level, and they're just trying to chase a goal, be better, get healthier, get in better shape, whatever it is. So I have a deep love for CrossFit, and in my off season, when I'm not getting ready for a bodybuilding show, I do CrossFit, like not regularly, but like maybe once a week, once every other week, because I love performance athletics. And when I decide to hang up my suit in bodybuilding, which will happen at some point, I'm not going to do this forever. I will always go back to performance athletics. I love CrossFit, and it'll always be a part of my life.
Okay. Do you do like the muscle ups?
I don't do muscle ups because
Okay.
um, I have I've experienced shoulder injuries before, and
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to do anything that's going to risk my bodybuilding career while I'm in it. So when I say I do CrossFit, like there's only
Right.
certain things I'll do just because it's not my main sport right now. But in the future, if I'm not competing in bodybuilding anymore and I decide to do CrossFit, then I would pursue some of that stuff that wouldn't, like, should I have an injury or something, knock on wood, hopefully I don't, that it wouldn't limit my ability to continue in bodybuilding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got a couple of months ago. I interviewed someone. She does freestyle gymnastics.
Hmm.
Yeah, she calls herself Miss Posty. She lives in New York City.
Mhm.
Yeah, she been doing it since when she started doing it. I wouldn't say long, but maybe like 5 years or something like that. Yeah, yeah, but like if like you would see her reels or something like on Instagram, she's doing like these fantastic stuff where they just like kind of twirl through the pole and stuff, and
Wild.
yeah, yeah, and it was this bodybuilder. Her name is La Cruz. I forgot her name, but she did CrossFit and bodybuilding. Yeah,
It can be done. I'm of the mindset that I'm not going to risk, like, I'm all in on bodybuilding, like,
right.
all in. And I'm not going to risk all of the hard work, the time, the dedication, the money, everything just to do a muscle up, like, just to hop in on a CrossFit
Yeah,
workout. Like, that'll always be there. I'm going to
yeah,
focus, put all my effort into
yeah.
one at a time.
Yeah, that it is intense. Like I mean, like let's say like you doing bodybuilding and that you going you probably hurt yourself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's not because you can hurt yourself in CrossFit. Like, you can hurt yourself in
Yeah,
bodybuilding too, but like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just I've said this to people before. Like, I know guys that like compete in bodybuilding, but they also play in like a flag football league, or not even flag football, like a football league, or pick up basketball or something. And I'm like, what if you tear your ACL? What if you get a concussion? Like, what
That's
if you
true.
have an injury that limits
Yeah,
you from pursuing your
that's
dream
true.
just because of this hobby you wanted to chase? Like,
That's true.
I'm all for having hobbies and like being a well-rounded athlete and like doing things that make you happy. But um, then is bodybuilding truly the thing you want to go after? Probably not. It's probably just another hobby for you.
Yeah. Can you break down what's lacrosse? I never I'm
Lacrosse?
not too yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Like
Did you know
I'm
I grew up
sorry.
playing that?
Yeah, I've heard you saying it in a couple of interviews.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen
So
the interviews.
I grew up playing soccer and lacrosse, and so
Okay.
lacrosse is played with a stick that has a net on the end, like a head with a net, and it has a small, like almost like a tennis ball, but it's more dense, right? It's not hollow, and it's similar to like field hockey or soccer in that there's two goals at either end of the field, but with lacrosse, like you can only touch the ball with the stick, right? Like you can only you
Okay.
catch it and then you run down the field cradling it, and then I mean, obviously you aim to shoot into the goal and get points, and so it's broken down similar to soccer or football, where it's like four quarters and you have a halftime, and um, but it's like one of the oldest sports out there. Like it was played by like the Native
Okay.
Americans, like way before we settled in the United States as we know it. So um, it's
What got you into doing it?
what got me into it.
Yeah.
Um, you know, growing up, my parents wanted me to play every sport. They wanted me to like try everything, do everything. So, like I said, I was playing soccer. I played softball for a while, and then I saw lacrosse being played at school. And I would think I was like fifth or sixth grade, and I was playing softball. But like you know, in school sports started, at least for me, at seventh grade. So at seventh grade is when you could like play for the school. So you had like middle school sports, seventh and eighth grade, and then you could go to junior varsity, and then obviously go on from there. So once I got to like sixth grade, I started thinking like, okay, do I want to try lacrosse? Or do I want to stay with softball and play that for school? And so what I ended up doing was I played lacrosse at school and I played in a rec softball league on the side. And then when I got to college, I made the decision. But it was just one of those things where, like, I remember my dad didn't know anything about it, and he was an athlete growing up, and I'm the oldest, so
Yeah.
he like I was the first kid, and he was like getting me into sports and stuff. And it was very similar to soccer, and so and we also saw a path for potentially like scholarships and like you know not as many girls were playing that as they were softball. Like softball was way more popular. So um, not to mention I love contact sports. So
Mhm.
I in soccer I treated it like football, and lacrosse I did the same thing. Like I just bodied bitches. Like that was what I wanted to do. So so I fell in love with lacrosse. I really did, and I mean I loved softball, but lacrosse was what I ultimately decided to pursue. And I almost went and played in college. I had a scholarship
Mhm.
to go play up at SUNY Binghamton. Um,
Yeah.
and I was looking there in Manhattan College. And then I toured University of Delaware, where I could not have been an athlete. They were way too good, and I was not a good enough athlete.
Mhm.
But I just loved the big school environment, so I decided not to play sports in college and to go for like the big school experience. So
Okay. Well, we got some guests. Dalvarus Adams looking pumped.
thanks.
And Lawrence Perkins, good afternoon, Jess, Clyde, and everyone on the chat. How you doing? You got all the way George Page. Good afternoon, folks. He comments lacrosse was a Native American sport and just love full contact.
I love beating the shit out of people that give me a reason to beat the shit out of them. Yeah.
Yeah. You do martial you was doing martial arts like what like jujitsu and
Brazilian Jiu Jitsu
what
and Krav Maga. Yeah.
oh, I was oh yeah I remember there was another bodybuilder she told me about that I didn't know what that was Krav Maga
It's
like
is
it's like
Israeli martial
Israeli
arts.
yeah martial arts and stuff I
Yep.
had to look it up and stuff yeah she
It's
was telling me that how
yeah.
is that for you like when you was doing that.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so much fun. It's funny because I was in sales at the time, and so like my hands would be destroyed. Like I would because you're just beating the shit out of people, and so
Yeah.
my hands would be destroyed, and like I might have scratches and stuff. So I'm going to like sell people things. I'm like shaking their hand, and my hands are all like
Yeah.
scabbed up and stuff. And that's not really the look that you expect from a woman, anyways, in the workplace. But it was fun.
Right.
I love it. And I joke with my dad. I'm like, when I'm done with bodybuilding, I'm gonna do roller derby. I'm going to do MMA. Like there's so many sports I want to try. But
Right,
I'm like, again, firm believer that I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize my bodybuilding career while I'm doing it. So I'm all in on that.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, good luck with that, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah. You got some pictures on.
Yeah, that was what's today? Sunday. That was Friday.
Oh, does this Friday
It
come?
was just on Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about what you call it this the Arnold Classic? Did you pay attention to that or
Yeah. I watched it. Yeah.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
What's
I
your
mean,
thoughts on that?
what's that?
What's your thoughts on that? Like in terms of the bikini, the bikinis they got only bikini and what
And
you call
wellness.
it wet
Yeah,
wellness.
I don't watch bikini and wellness, honestly. They don't have
No.
they don't know. They don't have any female muscle categories at the Arnold, which is like very frustrating. And um I mean, listen, I'm a fan of the sport. I normally go to the Arnold and the Olympia, but considering I'm getting ready for a show, I didn't want to jeopardize anything by traveling, so I just live streamed and watched it. And I mean, it's exciting to watch, but at the same time, like I said, they don't have any of the female muscle categories. So figure, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding. And they don't have men's 212, which is just a slap in the face for them. They do have fitness, which is like one of my favorites to watch. And I know the girl who won, Ariel, I know her, and the girl who took second, Jacqueline, she's from this area as well. So I would love seeing them because those are athletes. Like those are legit athletes, the girls that are in fitness. But it's really frustrating that they have removed women's muscle categories from the Arnold. And Arnold announced last night when Hottie won, Hottie is one of my favorite athletes of all time. Like if I'm gonna fangirl over someone, it's Hottie. But he and Arnold announced the Olympia raised their men's open bodybuilding prize money to $400,000. Last night, the Arnold winner got $300,000. The Olympia raised it to $400,000. So Arnold said, "We're going to raise the Arnold prize money for open bodybuilding to $500,000." That's great for the sport. I'm happy for you guys, but why not spread the wealth and bring back in the female muscle categories? Like we get no love, and yet we're throwing all the money at the guys that already are getting the prize money, and they're already at every single show. So it pisses me off, honestly. It pisses me off a lot because there are less and less opportunities for these female muscle categories to compete and find a pathway to the Olympia, to be on the biggest stages in the sport. So the Arnold Sports Expo, like the bodybuilding show aside, is awesome. It's so inclusive of every sport. My good friends got engaged at the Arnold this weekend. They were running the animal cage, and my friend was the MC for the animal cage. So the video went viral. Actually, if you look on the Arnold Sports page on Instagram or the Animal Pack page on Instagram, it's like viral now. But this couple, I coach them. They're my clients, and they're also really good friends of mine. So they've got the animal cage with powerlifting and strongman competitors. They've got the same friend who did the MC for the animal cage last year, competed in arm wrestling at the Arnold. Like you've got every sport imaginable there, which is so awesome and why I really love going to the Arnold Expo. But then when it comes to the show, like they really drop the ball on these other divisions. So um, I mean, that's my opinion. I think a lot of women kind of feel the same way. And then the men's 212 division, they only have like 5 opportunities domestically to compete at the pro
Mhm.
level. So it's not as inclusive as it should be.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, but you know, I mean, because a lot of people, a lot of like in terms of fans, they're not like crazy about bikini and stuff. I
No,
just kind of look, no, I just look at it like like it's a part of bodybuilding. You
sure.
know, that's,
Yeah,
so I'm just still learning about the sport, but I do see that it's a sport that I think it's not accepted in society, and so they try to use like bikini and wellness, probably maybe to get people interested in it and
Definitely.
fitness also.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like they sell tickets. From a business perspective, those three divisions sell tickets, and the female muscle
Right.
categories, frankly, don't. And I get it. But it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, we don't sell tickets because we're not at
Yeah.
as many shows. So give us an opportunity to be at shows. And I think we've got a lot of really great ambassadors for the sport, and I consider myself to be an ambassador for the sport as well, as I go out and talk about it with people that don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like, give us an opportunity to prove that this is a sport that this is a division rather, that people will buy tickets to watch. If you don't give us the opportunity, we can't really show you that. So someone's got to take the risk if they think it's a risk by including the division, because there is a cost, right? If you're a show promoter, there is a cost to having each division, and it's like, in the Northeast here, there's the NPC Northeast, and there's everyone that's involved with that. You have to pay people out when you do a show, right? And then you've got prize money, you've got trophies, you've got awards, you've got the tanning, you've got to pay for the venue. Like, there's a lot of costs associated. So the less divisions they have, the less they have to pay out. But also, athletes do pay to register, so at least at the end, the NPC at the amateur level. So you're making money from the athlete. So someone just has to take the risk, according to them, and give those divisions an opportunity to show that money can be made.
Yeah. Well, Davarius Adams, wow, super physique is still beautiful.
Thank you.
Lawrence Perkins, whatever you decide on your journey, what makes you happy, that's all it matters. Wow, Lawrence, you got some words. All the rage George Page, as I said before, men's bodybuilding is the bottom bitch. They make money for daddy. Yeah, he mostly says that.
I mean, they do. They
Yeah,
do. But
yeah,
I have the utmost respect. Like, to be a guy that size and get that lean on stage, like, dude, that I have the utmost respect for them. And that's bodybuilding. But
right.
it's not like I'm not going to talk shit about a particular division, but like, we can't keep creating divisions to include others in the sport, right? Like, let's stick with the divisions that we have, and make sure that the people on stage are balanced, symmetrical, athletic, not one body part overpowering the rest. Because if we keep creating divisions, then it becomes a sport that everyone can do and everyone can get a participation trophy. Like, if that's the case, it's not special anymore. And there are hundreds of thousands of people that compete in bodybuilding or do bodybuilding, but to get to the Olympia stage, it's like the top 0.5%. So it's not like we need to necessarily be worried about newer divisions being introduced, but like at that level, but still, like, reward the athletes that get to that level and the
Yeah.
physiques that belong in the sport. Maybe your physique doesn't belong in bodybuilding. Maybe it's better in CrossFit, and that's okay. Not every that's what makes the world go round. Not everyone is going to be made for everything. That's that participation trophy thing. Like, not everyone gets to compete in bodybuilding. Not everyone gets to be a power lifter. Not everyone gets to be a soccer player. But kind of go where your physique allows you to and where your athletic ability allows you to. So all the respect in the world for anyone that competes, and especially the big boys, because it's a lot of work. But um, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
How do you educate people that don't know about bodybuilding? Like what's some of the methods that you would kind of tell them about, you know? Because people it seems like people don't really care about it. Like, they you I don't know how to put it. They just like if you tell somebody about like I remember I had a friend, right? And I was telling him that I make kind of content on women bodybuilding and stuff. I put like I would make videos and video slides and stuff. And so he was looking at it, and I think I mentioned Linda Murray, and he was like, who's that?"
I mean,
And
know
The
necessarily
average person,
sport.
yeah, average person, they don't really know who that is or Andrea Shaw. So that's why I asked that question.
I mean, think about it. I don't know some top names in other sports. Like you're if you run in the
Yeah,
circles of people that know the sport, they're going to know. And
right.
it is what it is. However, but okay, so let's use like Arnold as an example. Everyone knows Arnold Schwarzenegger. That is a household name. But why? Not necessarily for bodybuilding. Like yes, people
The
know that,
movie,
but
the movie.
like if you watch the documentary on him, it's just or the docu series on Netflix. It is just so interesting because each episode, I think it was 3 or 4 episodes, dives into a different aspect of his life. And bodybuilding is the undercurrent under everything, but it talks about his upbringing, when he got into movies and acting, when he got into politics, like everything else that he's done. He's a household name because people know him from multiple different places, not just from
Right.
bodybuilding. So to answer your question, I mean, I'll use an example of like, say I'm 8 weeks out from a show right now, and I go to the grocery store and I'm not wearing a sweatshirt, or say I'm wearing shorts. Like it's immediately obvious that I not just work out, but I'm serious about this. And I get comments all the time. Even if I'm wearing a sweatshirt, some guy the other day was like, "Holy shit, your shoulders." I was like, "I'm wearing an XL sweatshirt, dude. What are you talking about?" But he could tell that there was some meat here. But I immediately say, and it's because I have a lot of pride, but also to remind people like, I'm not an average gym goer. Like, I don't want you to think like, oh, as a woman, I lift heavy, I'm going to look like that. No, don't worry. You couldn't if you tried. Like, it's a lot of work. So I immediately tell people I'm a professional athlete, I'm a professional bodybuilder. And then people want to know more. Usually they're like, holy crap, like, tell me more about that. And I come at it from a place of like, I want to educate you and like, I'm just a regular person too. I run to the grocery store, I get my food, I walk my dog. Like, I work my ass off to make money to pay for this. So if people like want to know more, I tell them a ton about it, but it's more from, to your point, like trying to educate people, not necessarily like toot my own horn, but tell people like it's taken me a long. People are like, how many hours do you spend in the gym? I'm like, well, it's not so much about the hours I spend in the gym, it's what I do with the other 20 hours of the day. Like
Yeah.
I don't eat out, I cook all my own food. Even in the off season, I cook all my own food. I do cardio 5 days a week. I didn't have an off day my entire off season. There was no like, today's Monday, I'm getting back to it. Like it's a lifestyle. And so I always explain to people, like, you could be a bodybuilder and then you could be a competitive bodybuilder. The same way I could be a CrossFitter and be a competitive CrossFitter. Um, and then if people really don't know anything about bodybuilding, sometimes like I have some older neighbors. I just moved into my place here back in December, and they think powerlifting. They don't think bodybuilding. So they're like, oh, you get on stage and you like lift heavy stuff. And I'm like, actually, it's powerlifting, but I love that. I'm the one on stage that's like in a bikini and I'm like flexing and posing. And they're like, oh, I know that. I know that. And then they ask some questions. And if they don't ask questions, they're not interested. But you kind of just have to meet people where they are. And if it's something that they're interested in learning about, I just speak to them on like the most basic level about it and just kind of gauge if they're interested in learning more about it. But I mean, listen, if someone doesn't want to know anything about it, if they have like a negative opinion on it, I'm not here to change everyone's opinions. I don't care. I could care less about your opinion.
Yeah.
But if someone wants to
Yeah.
have a conversation about it, I love talking about the sport. So,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, yeah, so you also you're a fitness trainer. Like, how was that for you? Like, do you see like a lot of clients?
So most of my business is virtual. So I'm part of a larger bodybuilding coaching team. And I work with, like, our team is spread out all over the country, but we're headquartered in Florida. And so most of the work that I do is virtual. So I'm a certified nutritionist. I'm constantly taking classes to like learn more as well. But
Right.
so I'm writing nutrition plans for people, writing workout programs for people. My clients check in every week. We talk about more than just their food and their training, but also how are you sleeping? How's your stress management? How's your gut health? Like it's a holistic approach, you know? So my goal is to be about 75% virtual and work from home, and then 25% maintaining the personal training clients I have. I do virtual personal training. I'm not taking any more virtual personal training clients, but I have a few women that I work with, whether they're stay-at-home moms, they're work-from-home moms, and most of them I was personal training in person when I lived in DC, and then when COVID hit, we switched to virtual, and we've just continued to do virtual. And for them, it's just I need someone to hold me accountable. They have all the equipment they could need at home for 30 to 45-minute workouts. And that's how they're able to work out because they have such busy schedules. And that's great. Like I said, like there's whatever the catalyst for fitness is for someone, I'm all for it. So if they're not doing CrossFit, they're working out from home, whatever. And then in person here in New Jersey, I have, I'd say probably about 10 personal training clients. And then I also coach CrossFit. So I love the clients I have. I don't know if you can hear my puppy. She's
I hear it, but it's okay.
she's dreaming. She's doing something in her puppy dreams. I love my personal training clients, and I always say, like, I only train people that I would want to spend time with. If it's not someone that I want to talk to and spend an hour at minimum a week with, then I'm not going to take them as a client. Because my time is more valuable to me than the money that someone is going to pay me. And I could, you know, in an hour of training a client, I could sit and work on 4 to 5 virtual clients. So sometimes it's a trade-off, but I love the clients I have here. I've had a lot of them for a few years. And they have like varying goals, varying levels of experience in the gym. Some just want to lose body fat. Some want to get really strong. Some want to get really big. Some want to perform better in CrossFit. Some want to compete in bodybuilding. So I really do enjoy training people in person. And like I said, my goal is to keep the group of clients that I have and grow my virtual client base.
Okay. All the way, George Page, he itching for this question. So
Yeah.
what's the plan for this year? Are you
Um,
competing or
yeah. I'm 8 weeks out from my pro debut. So,
okay?
so my
Where you gonna
first,
be competing at?
so, so here's the thing. This will be my pro debut in the IFBB Pro League.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
and we have an anticipated show that we're planning to do. But there are many shows around that time and shows right after that. So me and my coach have agreed, if we don't feel like this is the best I've ever looked, I won't do the anticipated show and I'll just do the next one. I'm not in any rush, and I just want to get on stage, look the best I've ever looked, and win the damn thing. So right now we're aiming for April 27th, which is the St. Louis Pro, and in St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm really excited about that show. And then after that, we're aiming for, regardless of whether I win that show or not, we're doing May 18th, we're doing the New York Pro right in Teaneck, New Jersey. So you can come to that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try because I haven't really. Well, not really, but I haven't been to a bodybuilding show before.
You gotta come. It is
Yeah.
a spectacle. Let me tell. And the New York Pro is one of the most prestigious pro shows out there. It is. It used to be in New York. I think it was in Madison Square
Yeah,
Garden,
I've heard.
and it
Yeah.
was the champions.
Yeah, why
Um,
they don't? Why they, oh, I'm sorry, because why they don't put it like I wish they could put it like in Barclays Center. Like,
Money, man. Who
yeah,
was
okay,
being?
all right, yeah, okay. I got, but it'd be like other events there. That's why I'm like, damn, like why don't they just put it there? Because I
Be
just going to New Jersey and stuff like that. But
It
I
would
see
be a
what I can do.
nightmare for athletes. That would be an absolute nightmare. You want a venue that's attached to a hotel so the athletes
Right.
have to walk outside, you know, like
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah,
now
you right.
it's just,
Yeah,
it's a convenience factor and it's money. So
yeah.
I agree, because if you think about like the Arnold or the Olympia, the Olympia, it goes back and forth, but this year it's going to be in Vegas. And that I've heard is kind of a nightmare, just getting back and forth everywhere on the
Yeah.
strip. Like it's kind of a nightmare. Orlando is really convenient to get around, but if you didn't stay at the
Okay.
host hotel, then you're worrying about Orlando traffic, which is a real thing. And then with the Arnold, I mean, you could have stayed right there at one of the hotels. It's a little bit closer to the convention center there. But it's very where they do it at the Glen Point Marriott in Teaneck is so convenient for athletes, and it has a lot of parking. It has like multiple other hotels right there that are walking distance. And it's right off of 95. It's right near the GW Bridge. So people who are coming from like the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, like they can get there easier. And then people in New Jersey or from other areas don't have to go into the city. So there's the convenience factor, but I hear you, because being in like a really big venue is very cool as an athlete, like on stage, and to be in
Yeah.
the audience watching, it's just a different experience. But
I was I wasn't like looking at it like that, but because it was like because you got to travel and stuff.
yeah,
Like because I live in Brooklyn, and then to just go to New Jersey, somebody told me I have to like cross the bridge, and then I could take a Uber when I'm at New Jersey to go, where they have the
yeah,
bodybuilding show.
it depends. Cause you don't have a car in Brooklyn.
No, I
Yeah, I
don't
mean
have
you
a
don't
car.
really. Most of
I
the time you.
take the train. Train.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, there's a lot of ways that you could get there, or
Yeah.
you could just see if there's someone. A lot of people come from Brooklyn to the show, so you can always see if there's someone you can ride with. Those days are long though, too. Like for example, prejudging women's physique is like New York Pro. We'll use it as an example. Um, Prejudging starts at 8 a.m. and women's physique is first, and I'm early in the alphabet because of my last name, so I'll be on stage right around 8 a.m. and then I won't be back on stage until finals at like maybe 4 or 5 p.m. So the days are long, and so if you're coming to watch someone, you kind of got to time it. Like, do you want to spend the whole day there? Do you want to see just prejudging? Do you want to see finals? It's kind of a gamble, because then there's different
Okay.
tickets for prejudging and finals. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But
I,
plan.
if I do go, maybe I don't know. It got to be an off day, and I'll probably go to the prejudge if I'm able to. But I doubt it. Maybe at night. Maybe I'll do
I'd say
the
finals is
women
easier.
the finals.
Yeah, because you're going to get all the way there by 7 a.m. to wait in line and get a ticket. Probably
Yeah,
not.
you right. You right.
Probably
I'm not
not.
gonna be.
I
Yeah,
won't.
yeah, yeah. Davarice Adams. I do show some love. I do some love female bodybuilding respect within my heart. Like you are very nice, kindness
Thank
always.
you.
And Mike Diddy, I think most people don't care. He's talking about bodybuilding.
What do you want me to say to that?
Mike so lame, really. Eat healthy, whatever. I don't know. All the way George paid. Okay, he did. He said back in 22, the Olympia was a mess. A lot of people got sick, and the motel wasn't closer to the venue.
I
Hmm.
mean, depends where you stayed. I stayed at an Airbnb with a big group of people. It was a little bit farther out, but actually, I would prefer the Olympia in Orlando. Vegas is just. Oh, he's talking about 22. 22 was Vegas. Yes. I liked Orlando in 23. 22, um, a lot of people got sick. I remember a lot of people I was
Hmm.
with came back and they got incredibly sick. Fortunately, I did not get sick. I don't know how, but we just walked everywhere on the strip. It was well, we walked everywhere, and then we did Uber sometimes. It was really cold too, but that's the issue with Vegas is like if it's like a venue that's right next to your hotel, easy. But if it's like two or three hotels down, they're not that close, even though they're next to each other. The properties are so big. So yeah, I agree with George. That was kind of a mess.
Yeah. So you have like a coach. I forgot his name, Justin Jacoby.
Yeah, yeah.
What's it like training under him?
He is the best. Like I've had other coaches, and Justin and I had been friends. And 4 weeks out from me winning my pro card,
Mm.
I was not in the position that I wanted to be. Like my physique didn't look the way I wanted it to. I didn't feel great. And the coach I had at the time, I'm not going to name names, but he at uh, at our check-in at 4 weeks out, he was like, "Listen, Jess, something's going on with your body. We're not going to be able to pull this off. You need to drop out of the show and you need to do nationals down like later in the year in like November or whatever or December." And I was like, "No, like fuck you." Like I was like, "I've worked too damn hard for this. Like this was your job to get me ready." And he wasn't listening to my feedback. He told me that I rushed into the prep and whatever. I reached out to Justin and I said, "Justin, I have 4 weeks. Do you think we can do this?" And he was like, I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to say I'm going to try my very best," which I appreciated. That he wasn't like didn't have false optimism, you know,
Right.
or false promises. And so I had 28 days from the day I hired him to the day I got on stage. 28 days, we lost 18 pounds, and I got my pro card. And I so badly wanted to go back to my old coach and be like, "What the fuck did I tell you? Like, I told you I was going to do it. Nothing was going to stand in my way." And the reason that we did it was because Justin just cared. He paid attention. The thing that stuck with me about my old coach was at one point he had me on like 0 carbs for an incredibly long amount of time, which if anyone knows anything about nutrition coaching, like that's a tool, but you shouldn't deploy it for many weeks at a time. It can destroy a woman's body, can destroy anyone's
Mm.
body. He was like, "Why doesn't this work for you? It works for everyone else." And I was like, "No, I'm not everyone else. Like you can't have cookie cutter approaches for your athletes." So Justin paid attention to me. I checked in every day. We changed my food. We changed my cardio. We did ice baths. He gave me more rest. And he cared. So at the end of the day, we learned that that's what worked for my physique. So I stayed with him for my entire off season. He encouraged me to take a full year off, heal my body, rest, because I pushed hard for a really long time to get that. And this prep all in will be about 24 weeks, which is a really long prep, but we're taking the same approach. And he's learned like what works for my physique and he cares. Not to mention, he's mentored me. So now I've joined his coaching team. So he cares about me more than just an athlete. Like he sees my potential as a coach. We're very, very good friends. I talk to him almost daily. Just a really great person to have in my life and have in my corner. And he's really great with female athletes too. So I can't say enough great things about him, which is why I know we're going to do really well this year because we work really, really well together. So
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you should have a good relationship with your coach. I
it's
mean,
good.
the last one that you were saying, it sounded like you were stressed out.
Beyond like people that see me now that saw me when I was getting ready for my last show, they're like, "You look different. Like your
Yeah.
demeanor is different. You seem happier. You don't seem like inflamed. You don't seem stressed." And I am like, I have no complaints, you know, like my physique is the type of physique that will be ready at the end. It doesn't get ready early. I'm not the type of person that is going to be ready 2-3 weeks out. And I trust the process and I know that I'm in the best hands. And it's nice to have that peace of mind and not be stressed out because you can't be stressed when you're getting ready for something like this.
You plan on being a coach besides being a trainer?
I am a coach. I am.
Okay. Oh, silly me, rather. But I mean, back to what I was saying, about the maybe that was meant to happen for you to kind of see what you should do and what you shouldn't do.
I
You
agree.
know.
I
Yeah.
agree. Because
Yeah.
I think my best learning moments have been when I was with not so great coaches or coaches that weren't great for me because I
Yeah.
had an opportunity to learn and see how not to handle a situation. Because I'm not saying I don't learn a lot from seeing how Justin handles me as an athlete because I do. I learn a ton. But a lot of the things like we'll talk about in our like mentorship conversations, I'm like, of course yes, I would absolutely speak to someone that way. Or yes, that's how I would phrase it. And that's why we get along well because we speak the same language. I've learned what not to do from other coaches
Yeah.
because I would never want anyone to feel what I felt, go through what I went through. I've got some young women like in their early 20s that want to compete for the very first time that I'm working with, and we're planning out if it's going to be this year or next year. And even some of my good girlfriends who are a little bit younger in the sport, I feel it's my duty, having gone through all of the bullshit, to give them full transparency and answer any questions they have, and make sure that they know that they've got someone in their corner that is going to cheer for them, root them on, and always give them answers to whatever questions they have, because I didn't have that when I started in the sport. So
You prefer work ladies? What's your preference, like men or women?
both. I've got
Oh, okay.
I've probably got just as many male athletes as I have female athletes. So I've got some bigger guys that I work with that compete, and then I've got some, like, I'll call them like lifestyle clients, but serious ones that they don't compete, but they want to be treated like a competitor. So they don't have plans of stepping on stage, but they want to be treated the same everything. And then I've got some like general lifestyle clients too that, you can't push them as hard. Bodybuilding is not their life. They just want to get
Yeah,
healthy. So, but both men and women. I have a lot of couples I work with, which is interesting, because you really have to coach them individually. You can't coach them as a couple.
right.
So they may not be doing all the same stuff, but yeah, I don't have a preference over men or women.
Yeah, I recently got a coach. I met
Nice.
him through another bodybuilder and stuff, and like this week that passed, it was a little bit of test because we was doing like at first we was working on legs and stuff. We did like lunges, squats, and lunges.
Okay.
So we did like I would say like 10 10 reps. If
Okay.
I could, yeah, with we and we do it with the weights. He had me doing with the weights and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's virtual, of course, and
Oh,
yeah,
nice. That's good.
yeah, I do it like on the WhatsApp, and yeah, he had me like he was telling me like I should drink, like constantly drink, be on a water diet and stuff, like try to like avoid yeah,
Constant
that's
water.
water.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had me doing the water diet and stuff. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. There were moments I did get. I take like tea or ginger ale or something like that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
then, I would just like stay away from the sodas and all that. He was telling me stay away from the cookies and all that. I haven't really. I don't do it as much. I need to work on it more. Because
It's
yeah, because before, I was working out, but then I wasn't doing like I was still working out, but I practice like qigong and stuff, like Chinese yoga and stuff
yeah.
like that,
That's
and
great.
it's like mostly meditation, so it's not like
High
really
intensity.
intense like what you do or push-ups and stuff like that. So I met this person like at this event, and he was telling me, yeah, you probably got to work out. You don't got that far to go, with the stuff that I could teach you. So
Mm-hmm.
at first, I was like, I don't know. I gave it a shot. It's cool so far.
Good.
He takes it easy on me and stuff.
And
So
stick with it. This is the beginning of your journey, so stick with it.
yeah. I got a little highlight film about you working out. You
Oh,
take a look
okay.
at it. Yeah, check it out.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. I love that.
yeah. I got another one where you working out on your legs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you work out mostly a lot on your legs?
One day a week.
Monday a week? Wow,
One
your
day
legs
a
is
week.
very,
In the past, I did 2 days a week. That's how I got them to where they are now. But now
wow.
it's
All of age George page. That's why it's going to be October for
yeah,
old. The weather is a bit better.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. He also says go online to get a ticket. I did when I went to Savannah. Yeah, I could check it out. It's not a problem. Want to check out the other one? I don't want to take you hostage or nothing like that.
Yeah, let's watch it. Then I got to take her out. But yeah, let's watch it.
All right. Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And he says, keep up with your game, son. This is for me. Yeah, but thank you for giving me opportunity to talk with you.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. I
Yeah,
love the live aspect of the live comments too. That's fun.
yeah, thank you. No doubt. Thank you. I'm glad you had a good time.
Let me know if you decide to come to New York Pro, and we'll talk. I'll send you a link for like where you could, because you can buy the tickets online ahead of time. But yeah, if you want to chat afterwards, you have any questions, anyone that dropped any comments, just shoot me a DM. We'll chat.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you.
Okay,
All
thank you
right,
so much
folks.
for having me.
All right, no doubt. It's always a pleasure. If you want to come again in the future, it's not a problem.
Cool. Okay, thank you so much, Edward. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. All right.